I think we flipped in time. Did you get firsties that time? It told me an alert for you. Maybe it just said you spoke. Maybe you got firsties. I think you got firsties because it says alert and it doesn't tell me what the alert is. It just says it's your name, Nismo. We are live though. Exciting. Exciting. This doesn't look right. Is this gonna tip over? Yeah, it's gonna tip over. That's not gonna tip over. Okay. Alright, so what do we have? We got the right idea, wrong ingredient is kind of what I'm coming up with. I got ideas to like make all kinds of different things, and somebody was leaving the apartment and I ended up like just grabbing some stuff. So I have a lot of like ingredients I didn't buy. And I figured it would be fun to use them. So this isn't one of them. This is just some burrata. We're going to do a burrata salad. I'm going to do that last though because it'll look better in pictures. Literally, like I would have done this and just knocked it out. We're going to do beets and burrata. The ingredient I got from like the grab bag is some... Where did I put it? I'm like all hyping up these ingredients. This stuff. It's ZZ's No Nut Butter. It's sunflower butter with chickpea protein. Sadly, it has palm oil in it. We're going to use this to make like a fancy salad, and it's totally not that fancy. We're going to use like sliced beets. This is the fanciest part. This and some arugula and like our own little dressing. So that's some like, I don't want to say like cheap, but like nothing fancy kind of ingredient to make like, add one fancy ingredient and make the whole thing like awesome. I think that's kind of the vibe. I think that's what I'm going for now. We're also doing a major duty. Major duty. We're doing major duty. That's not what I mean. We're doing a ultimate fried chicken. We're gonna start by brining it today, and then we're gonna fry it and serve it. This is the so-called wrong ingredient. It's not really a wrong ingredient. It's white rice flour. We're gonna use this with some. We're gonna make a really crispy crust on chicken thighs that we're gonna brine, and we're gonna use rice flour, cornstarch, and maybe a little bit of like bread flour in the batter for that. And what else do I have? We're doing a chocolate chip cookie today. As you know, we're doing it with white chocolate chips. Now, I'm going to defend my saying it's a wrong ingredient. The recipe is for semi-sweet to dark chocolate chips. So that's the only reason it's wrong. It's not wrong because it's white chocolate. We love white chocolate. We're very inclusive of all the cocoa butter family. And I love white chocolate. So. Alright, where did I put everything? Because I just pushed everything out of my way. Oh gosh. So, you can see I got my mixer here. We're going to set that aside. It was more for like framing the shot than anything else. We got our fun measuring guys. Let's start by making some pickled onions. I grabbed this onion. It was like starting to mold by the root, so I cut off the root and washed this, and now I have a very serviceable onion, red onion that we'll use. I'll take out the rest of the stuff that doesn't really want to be there. You can see it's been cut and sitting, and this probably needs to go too. I think I see a soft spot on that. So yeah. Really fresh ingredients, guys. I'm just kidding. Free is free. So, That makes life fun. I'm gonna take that end off and just keep the pretty parts. Maybe I should have cut down the middle here. But we're gonna make pickled onions out of this. I probably should have cut the other way. That's alright. It wouldn't have held together. I want to make fun shapes this way. You never know what you're going to get from a red onion. They do grow kind of funny. Usually when I would cut a red onion, and we'll do this just for the sake of it, I like to go along the rays of the skin and stuff here and cut, and you get really nice slices this way. So I'll mix these up with the big guys. They don't need to cook evenly because they're just going to get kind of pickled, quick pickled, I guess is what I call it. Oops, that was not the right cut. That's the right cut. Maybe it wants to be cut this way instead. There we go. And you can use these for salad, you can use these on burgers, you can use this on your cheese plate, you can use this on your burgers, I said that already. You can use it on your excellent crispy chicken sandwiches, all that stuff. So this isn't a wrong ingredient item, this is just like a bonus item. A good way to use some produce up. Make it a pickle. Some old school stuff. Let me get this. Some of these are clean. Let me put this one away. I should put that one away. Alright. I think I can put on jazz now that I know my stream has started. I also got this little fruit mix. I feel like I robbed a food pantry, but I swear to God I didn't. I bought this. My friend's sister is having kind of a tough time. I wanted to bring her a lasagna, so we'll probably do that tomorrow. I got some ground turkey and some lasagna stuff from my little haul, the move out haul. So I'm gonna probably use this because we're gonna use a hot liquid for these guys. And then I have hot oil. I've been saving that hot oil, you might remember. I need to actually strain it. I should have coffee filters. This feels a little ADHD right now because I just sliced onions and then started like draining oil. But I trust me, it's going in the right direction. Hopefully won't make a mess out of this. Oops, that's the wrong one. Alright, not in the clean dishes in the dishwasher, so it must be in the sink underneath that cutting board I just put in there. That's alright. We can definitely do this without that. So I'll just do it this way. That totally works, right? When everything just sags in. It's a good thing it doesn't really need to filter anything out. That's not. That's alright. We'll just use that for something else. I should make some coffee. And you can see all the tortilla bits that came out. I made crispy tortillas with that oil. I started by doing it for the crunch wrap, and then I filtered that oil, and then I did it again and made some chips. So it's been smelling like oil in in the Play's kitchen lately. Also got some potatoes and some apples and some canned goods that I was going to give to a friend, but he declined them. So I'm going to give them to a food pantry. Because I don't really like chili, beans, and macaroni. It's not my vibe. But I'm sure somebody could appreciate it. Alright, Nismo. We'll see you in a minute. Or whenever. Alright, so I usually like to do equal parts, well, I should get this to a boil first. I should do it for a boil first. Let's get our vinegar. I'm going to use up this red wine vinegar, because I like the way it tastes with a pickle. That's a nice color too. I'm actually just going to hopefully remove this stopper. Fingers crossed. Just got to get the vacuum on it lifted so it is easier to pull out. Hypothetically speaking, of course. There we go. And it's probably like a third of a cup. Probably about a third of a cup. And I like to add an equal part water. So that's red wine and vinegar and water. And then I like to usually add my spices or seasonings and some sugar. In this case, we're going to use some honey. About 2 tablespoons. And some sugar. Sorry, some salt. Healthy teaspoon of salt. I bought white vinegar and didn't use it. I'm going to add just a touch of white vinegar too, just to even that out. I like to soften the flavors in these so that the sweetness and everything else kind of sticks out. I like to add either, where I found this, where are you, Mr. Oh, there's the parsley flakes I could never find. I actually have a seasoning called pickling spice. If you're going to use this, it has like clove and cardamom in it. It's going to give you a little bit more brown flavors. I like to add coriander seeds to my pickles, but I usually like to do it in like a sachet. So maybe we'll just use this coffee filter that we were going to use for the oil as a sachet. Put those guys in there. We'll get some black peppercorns. Oops, that's not the side that will drop the peppercorn. I'll give you brown. Hi, Guyver. How are ya? Yay, Guyver, thank you for 4 months. You rock, dude. And we'll put some red pepper in there. And I think that's it. Now the real trick is going to be finding the twine. Because I don't remember where I put it after I used it for that one chicken thing. I probably put it somewhere I thought I would find it easier again. Which was not in there. Oh God. This is like the war on my own stupidity. Is it in here? No, it's not in there. bread rolls. Roasty, I was just about to ping you on Discord. Can you ping Apple and tell her, please, that I'm live? I don't know if she's available, but I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow too, so please do. Thank you. And I'm gonna take those 2 seeds out, put them in there. And we'll just put some random pickling spice in there. It'll give like no flavor to some flavor. I probably grabbed way too much string, but how to make a sachet, just gather everything together like a tea bag. You want to leave a little bit of room, and then you want your open ends. I don't want this to feel like an open end, so I'm going to put it on the top, and then I'm going to put these 2 together and like kind of cross them over, and maybe I'll put this in the middle so that it that's way too much string. I should take a shorter amount by this end then. And this has to stand up to some boiling, so you want to leave space. It doesn't swell and expand like a tea leaf, so you don't need that much space, but you do need space for like stuff to get in there. So there's our little not tea bag. Get something to stir this around with. Get some of that honey incorporated. And then I can move my setup here. This bowl. I put out a bunch of stuff I thought I would use. So let's do the magic. Oh no. That's not magic. That's tragic. Yep. It's still doing it. Alright, I should do this with 2 hits instead of 1. I'll learn my lesson someday, I swear. 2 cameras. Someday, we can live that dream together. Alright, and we're going to move the laptop before we turn on the stove. Oh, there goes Hilda. We set off the Hilda alarm. Get this music sat down. Perfect. Alright. Put this on. This doesn't look very well lit. I'm not impressed. And I just got salt everywhere. Okay, now that we've slightly tidied and completely messed up our camera angle, there we go. That's close enough. We're going to put this on medium heat so we can bring things up to a boil. Coriander seeds don't have a top on them. I just put them away. Smart. I don't know if I get the IRL badge for streaming or if it's just for my people watching, but I am excited to offer that opportunity because it's kind of funny to me. I originally started as IRL, not food and drink, so now I'm doing food and drink, and it's all starting to make sense. We're going to let this steep in there, and I like to tie this off usually, or just kind of move it to a side. So I'm just going to put it around the handle, and I could probably just cut it. since it's like absurdly long for what it is, which is a spice bag, a bouquet garni, I guess. Bouquet garni, let's call it that. We have more business over here. Maybe we'll put that guy on the back burner, like literally the back burner, and keep this guy right here. And we're gonna get 2 sticks of butter. Almost 2 sticks of butter. Do I have one in the freezer? I sure do. Are you salted or unsalted? Half sticks. I know I have more butter than this. I do have 2 sticks, but I don't want to use the salted butter. Oh, ice cube alert. Alright, so we got one of these and one of the, and the rest of this. We're gonna do some brown butter. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 tablespoons here, and then this is going to be 4 tablespoons of salted butter. Maybe we'll just cut the salt out of our recipe. Maybe. And we're going to melt all of this butter, which I usually cut up, but I'm not going to, because I think it'll melt pretty quickly on this. Just on medium heat. We don't want to make beurre noisette, or beurre noir, which is burnt butter. We just want to make brown butter, which is almost like making ghee. It's a little past ghee. Ghee is, of course, clarified butter. Ouch. This frickin' slipper is like biting my toe. I don't know why. What did I do to you? I've got some beautiful kosher dill sliders, is what they call them. Some pickles. Stupid. Alright. One thing I didn't do, which I usually like to do with a brine, is stir it around and just give it a little bit of a taste. It should taste very vinegary. And a little bit more sweet. Should be a little bit more sweet. I don't know if it's just that the extra vinegar, or if it's just not, the honey just hasn't dissolved yet. So we'll add another tablespoon of honey. Now, should get us there. Tej, how are you? Happy Thursday. We're making some brown butter here. We're making some pickled onions. These will be for 2 different things. We're going to be making the ultimate chicken sandwich, but we're going to start by making a brine for that. But first I'm making the condiment for it, because we're going to use it in a salad later too. So the idea is kind of like right idea, wrong ingredient. So I'm using recipes or things I've made before and changing an ingredient in them to see how they go. So the butter is for my ultimate chocolate chip cookie recipe. And these onions are going to be for like a burrata salad, burrata and arugula salad. And the wrong ingredient isn't so much a wrong ingredient as much as it is like a second-hand ingredient. It's just some sunflower butter. I would usually use like a pistachio butter or like something else. So it's kind of just like changing an ingredient in that recipe. I'm also going to be using some canned beets instead of my usual roasted beets. So maybe there's 2 changes in that one. But we're going to save it for the end because it'll photograph best when it's fresh and not wilt. And so we'll do that at the end. So the burrata salad will be at the end. We're kind of doing these 2 things at the same time. We're basically making cookies right now. That's the simplest answer, is we're making cookies. Nobody hates that, hopefully. Let's see what else we got in this black bag of produce. We got another onion, a green pepper, pear, a couple apples. Oh, a lemon? Love that. Pear and lemon. We might be able to do a little something with those. That sounds fun. Maybe we'll do a little dessert too. Nice. I'm happy about that. Maybe I'll turn on the full-size burner on medium. And I have a recipe pulled up, so we can start measuring our dry ingredients off to the side here. Get flour all over the place here. Hear the butter sizzling, and it's not fully melted. And that thing heats up quick. So we're going to do a 1 3/4 cups of flour. Oops. There we go. I'm braver without the gas stove because I can just do stuff right here. Apple! Hi. Hi, busy lady. How are you doing? We're making cookies. First we're browning some butter. So we're making a melted butter. And it's going pretty quickly because it's heating up quickly is what I mean. That's all the water coming out. Quite a noise that. And we're excited to see our pickling stuff come together here. I'm going to turn this down just so we can pay very close attention to our butter browning. We're going to put our onions right into the quick pickling brine. And try not to get red onion all over our flat top here. And it smells like cooking butter. It's starting to smell like browning butter almost. I'm going to turn this down. We've got our pickle going. And you can see we're just frying all the water out of this. What we're doing is we've separated the clear part, which is like clarifying the butter, and all the milk solids go to the bottom. And those milk solids start to toast. And they have this really delicious nuttiness to things. The French use it a lot in some of their recipes and a lot of their baking. Even in their cooking. cooking fish and different stages of cooked butter. So this is definitely not chicken fajitas today, Mex. How are you doing today, Mexi? Buenas. And you'll start to see under the foam, when the foam really starts to go, this is when you can tell the water is starting to come off big time on the milk solids. The milk solids kind of look like little like white curds, and they're going to turn to like a golden brown color when we've reached our brown butter stage. So that's why I'm keeping it on like a medium-low heat. I'm going to let this foam go a little bit, and then I'm going to stir it so I can check it. But usually this foaming stage before you cook something is exactly what you want, so you get all the flavor in your food. Alright, and we've just measured out some flour for our cookies. We're going to put some... I'm going to cut back whatever salt they tell me. So we'll put in about half a teaspoon of salt, because I think we got like a tablespoon of salt or half of something in there. Where did I put you, Mr. Salt? I just moved everything all over the place to like get my camera set up, so it's right there, right behind the laptop. Alright, and you can see the foam is starting to change color, and that's what we're looking for. That's our brown butter. So we're going to take this right off heat. I'm just going to show it to you one more time. And it gets a really nice nuttiness to it. This is a little bit dark brown. It's not too far though. It should have like a caramel look to it. I'm just going to take that off heat to let it cool. Usually you like cream butter, and just making sure that's off. Usually you cream butter and sugar together to start out any cookie recipe. And in this case, we're gonna cream the sugar together with a cooled brown butter. And we gotta take a trip back in this direction while we let our everything else sit. Someday this will be wireless. Someday. Alright. And someday this cord will not be in front of the camera. Oh, that's today. Alright. There we go. I'm so glad you're all here. Turning off the pickles. I'm going to let them steep in that hot vinegar solution. To finish out our dry ingredients, we're going to get that salt that I just talked about. I just had my measuring spoons over here. Yep, they're right here. And then we'll grab some baking soda or powder, baking soda. Fresh baking soda here. This side. And this recipe calls for a teaspoon baking soda. I'm just going to stir it up, make sure we have the best stuff going into our baking. Go. I also like to add about half a teaspoon of espresso powder. It just brings out some really cool flavors with that brown butter. So usually that intensifies like a dark chocolate. You add a little bit more too, like the dark chocolate flavors, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a little bit of that in there. And we're going to add that salt that I said I wanted to add. How much salt is in a half a stick of salted butter? Land O'Lakes for reference. I think that's what I used. Oh, so it's about an 1/8 teaspoon of regular table salt. And we're going to use 1 1/2. So we can actually add like 1 3/8. Yeah. So there's 1 half, 2 halves, 3/8. Teaspoons, I mean. There we go. Did that say 1/8 tablespoon or 1/8 teaspoon? Teaspoon. That makes a lot of sense because usually people don't do tablespoons and eighths. All right. Those are our dry ingredients. We did the butter. Now we need to measure. When we cook the water out of butter, we want to keep that water. We want to keep the flavor, and we want to keep that volume of water in there. So we need to add liquid back, and to do that, we're going to use a measuring cup. Find out how much short we are of 1 cup. Wherever I have my little guy. Where are you, little guy? Oh man, I think it's in the sink because I just put a bunch of things in the sink. Yeah, I cook off stream too. I hate to admit it, but it happens. I even do dishes off stream. A little clip-on mic. Like, they call them lavaliers. Yeah. I want that. I want an audio mixer. I want a lavalier mic. And I want 2 cameras. I want to do it through, like a laptop or something. And I'd love to have, like, a little, like, sound fader for when I'm, like, frying stuff, so that it's not, like, full bore, like, sizzle your ears off. I don't want to ruin, like, people's ASMR vibes, but I don't want to ruin people's, like, eardrums either. So I try to talk in the direction of my camera when I can, but when I have to walk away, I know it gets, like, muffled. So, but it's what phones were designed to do, or at least the newer phones. I'm basically on speakerphone. Man, the pickled onion smell mixed with like the brown butter smell is interesting. There's a guy coming to measure some cabinets in the bathroom tomorrow, and of course, no, I don't take that. I don't take that personally. I totally am on board with you, Nismo, for all of that. Nice badge, by the way. I don't think I didn't notice. Maybe you got it somewhere else, but I appreciate you showing off the badge because we're sort of promoting it, you know? For free. Okay. So we're putting our brown butter, solids and all, in here. Really don't need to add too much water. I think we had an extra tablespoon of butter already in what I put in there. So we really don't have to add too much water at all. I'm talking about like a tablespoon tops. And just be careful, if that's like fresh off the stove hot, it's gonna steam and boil off that water that you put in there. You can kind of see it's like almost simmering. This is still very hot, so we're gonna just set that aside. People were shitting on your lights pretty bad, so just passing on the love. Thankfully, that wasn't me. But it did. You kind of did look like a floating head sometimes. It wasn't all the time, to be fair. So fuck you, Mike. Just throwing that out there. Hey, bud. How you doing? Teej. Love your lights. Love. All right. We're going to let that cool for a minute, and we're going to process this chicken. We're also going to make a brine for this. I'm going to use a lot less liquid and salt than they want me to. As in, I'm going to do like half the recipe for this. Oh, Hilda, you're going to be fine, babe. So we're going to do it in grams, not just because the Canadians are here. We're going to do 500 grams of water, which I think will fit in that 4-cup container. It's about half a liter, so. Alright, that's a little more than 500 grams. I'll let the baby out in a minute. She's just making too much of a fuss. Too much of a fuss. Sometimes the path to improvement isn't fun. Alright. And then we're going to add to that. It's going to be a 10% brine. So we're going to add 50 grams of salt. And first, I want to add part of that, probably like 15 or 20 grams of that, is going to be this seasoning that contains MSG. So is that going to be right? 50 divided by 3. Let me see here. 16-ish. Yeah, so let's go up to 17. This has salt in it, so that's why I'm going to measure it with the salt. But I want some of that to actually have the MSG containing compound too, which is this. This is a copy of the like Goya one. It's got some coloring in it, so it'll turn everything kind of orange, which I'm fine with. And then we're just going to measure this up to 50. If you think I know what I'm doing, I'm kind of pretending. I'm just kidding. Alright. Salt is ready. Salt will go right in there, and you can see that it's turned our pickling brine this like Kool-Aid orange kind of color. Sugar. We're going to put 17 grams of sugar in there. And then we'll let Hilda out because she's sounding kind of sad. Any aromatics you want to put into your chicken would go in this as well. We're going to do a quick BRB, like unofficial BRB. So let's just put this bizarre looking brine here.